Hi guys, here's the 365 special I was talking about in my last video. I'll talk about this, and I'll also talk about the 372 clone 376 big bore basically saw that I've built. Like I said, this is the one that came at the same time I got the 372 World Champion in for that man. And basically he gave me the two saws and asked me to get one running. So the 372 is what the man got. He's over the moon with it. It's a lovely saw, that. Probably one of the best in the country, I would say. OEM, everything OEM. Just the bearings was done in it. The card kit was done in it. New seals and Caber 50mm piston ring and a new exhaust, and that saw was amazing looking. This is a saw that the man picked up. He picked this up for £40 at an auction, and it was meant to be for spares or repair. I stuck fuel in it, put some in the middle. I didn't actually think there was much compression, but I took off the exhaust and I looked at it and said, that looks alright actually, so I put it back together. I took the top off, took the air filter off, poured some petrol straight into the throat of the carburetor, gave it a few pulls and it started running. And I'm like, and it kept running, and it kept revving. There was some fuel in the fuel tank, and I'm saying, nothing wrong with this. So I started it the next day, and yeah, I started fine. So I says, right, wait a minute, this saw's worth saving. Especially when I looked at it and says, look, there's nothing really wrong with the piston. It's in actually quite good shape. So what did I do to this saw? I stripped it all down, as you've seen, into boxes, deep cleaned everything, and I got SKF bearings, I got new seals, I got a Caber 48mm piston ring, because this is an open port cylinder that's in this, and I've done up the carb, a carb kit in it, a new intake boot, and a new upgraded intake flange at the end of the intake boot that goes onto the carburetor. A Pharmatech one which is made of all metal. It's far better than the ones that come with Husqvarna. If you're doing it, it's worthwhile getting a Pharmatech metal one. Better grip when it comes to sealing against the carburetor. Done that, rebuilt the saw. I had issues with my clone. I took some parts back off this, and well, the parts come in, it's up and running. I also bought this OEM clutch cover. It is OEM, it's second hand. I got it for £25 from eBay. It's stamped Sweden in the back of it, so it is OEM. I paid £40. If you look at it this side, look, it looks really quite good apart from the rear handle. I paid £30 odd for a, I think it's £36 for an OEM top cover. I might do the same with the recoil. I might get a recoil housing and transfer all the stuff to it, and I think that would come up excellent. It would look excellent. There's I don't even know the year of this saw, but there's the tag there. A brand new exhaust on it, and it's a great saw. What I'll do is I'll pause you, I'll get it up and running, let you see it, and then you can see yourselves. So, as you can see, it sounds pretty good, very responsive from the throttle. What I did was, when it was all took apart, the cylinder, I actually chamfered the edges of the bottom, the lower transfers, just gave them a good chamfer. I cleaned the exhaust port off because I didn't want any more carbon scoring in the piston once it was back in, no more witness marks. So I cleaned all that off with the grinder and everything like that. Like I said, I done the chamfers a wee bit more pronounced on the lowers of the transfers, and this is the result I've got. It's a good wee powerful saw. Also got dogs as well. That's the original cover that came with it. I don't know. I think the way it sits right now, it's nice, but it could really do with another recoil housing, and it would come up great. To be honest, the recoil's a wee bit dodgy. It sticks out at times as well, so I might need a new spring or a new middle part. So I might even buy a looky, you know, like a Farmer Tech one, and put that on there, because you'll see when the next saw comes up, it's the quality is actually pretty good. Right, I'll pause you again and I'll bring out over the next saw. So the cost for me to do this for myself was round about, that's including this, 20, 40, 10 pounds, 35 pounds, 45 pounds, 51 pounds, 85 pounds, round about 85 pounds, guys. I can't count, I know about 10 pound for exhaust, so about 95 pounds. I cannot count the cost of the brake parts because they were used for that saw. Right, that's this saw. Right, here is the next saw. This is the clone. That's just from that saw running. You can see it's chucking out great oil. This is it started off, it was a 365 special as well, case that I bought. I was going to use this case up here, crankcase 365, I was going to use that, but that's still in there. Instead, like I said, I've explained, I know I buy a lot of parts from my man off of eBay down in England. I seen he had this in stock and I was in about, I said, listen, I'm better actually starting off with a 365 special case, and it's OEM pretty much, and done that. So a lot of the parts were bought from Farmer Tech and Neotech. The handle, I've explained why I didn't buy a kit. It's because of import duties. I had like 4 or 5 orders come to build this saw from China, keeping the prices all below a certain amount, trying to work out the best for postage and stuff like that. The total cost, the way it sits right now, but this is with an OEM cover on it, is now about £340, right, with an OEM cover, right. So the handle was from Neotech. It's a great quality handle. It came with a fuel cap, but that's a different fuel cap. Fuel cap, it had the fuel line, filter, switch, AV springs, trigger, all ready. And that came from Neotech. I got the brake parts, the internal brake parts from Neotech. Like I said, the quality of the spring that makes this come back I didn't like, because it didn't have metal round about the edge of it, and the actual spring, the actual brake band was too long, and I didn't have any brake when I started it up. So those parts were not so good from Neotech. The handle, great. The rest of the parts pretty much came from Farmer Tech. Farmer Tech cylinder, an OEM Walbro carburetor, which Farmer Tech sells, Farmer Tech clutch, Farmer Tech even that. The handle was Farmer Tech, which is up there now somewhere in that box, because I got, like I said, I got a chance of an OEM handle. I prefer the feel of the OEM handle. It certainly does feel better. I'm still waiting on this exhaust to come to finish it. This is from Farmer Tech as well, the recoil assembly. I got a sticker. I was running a 365 special because it's a 365 special, but with a big bore. This is an OEM HD top. It's no different. That's no different. Basically, it's just this part here looks different for the HD filter system. And like I said in the video testing out this saw, at the money, it's very hard to beat. It's very, very hard to beat, and it runs like, it goes like stink. Wait, and I'll pause it, I'll get it started, and let you see it. It's got some power. It certainly has got some power, I'll tell you that. It makes me regret. It really does. It makes me regret spending £1,000 on an Echo 7310 when I could have done this. What's got more power? This. What's going to probably last longer? The Echo. That's the thing though, right? Oh yeah, sorry, the crankshaft as well in this. Farmertech do two qualities of crankshaft. They do a normal one, which is like £12–13, as opposed to an OEM Husqvarna one, which is £200. The other crankshaft they do is called the Farmer Boss, which is a bit dearer. I think the other quality Farmer Boss one is the one that they put in the XP Pro saws, because that's meant to have an upgraded crankshaft and things like that, and OEM Walbro carb, same carb that's in this, things like that. So I think that's an upgraded crankshaft that's in it. Is it upgraded as in upgraded better than OEM? No, it's not as good as OEM. OEM's better, we know that. But what I'm saying is, I thought £300. Supposing I get 4 years out of this and the cylinder goes, I can probably go and pick up another cylinder for about 50 quid, or pay a wee bit more and get a right good quality Meteor one for £100. As long as the crank and everything else stays okay in it, surely I'm better buying this than paying £1,000 for an Echo. I mean, that's the thing, that's one of my gripes about Echo. It's aftermarket parts. There's not many, yet the saws have become really popular. The Echo 4910 and 501 in America is booming, yet there's still no aftermarket parts available. Everything's got to go through an Echo dealer. I'm talking about like, even your clutches, your clutch drums, cylinders. You can get pistons, but cylinders have got to be Echo dealers. Everything's an Echo part, and the price is extortionate. So I was 120 in this country. I would have been £200 for a new cylinder kit with the piston for my Echo 501. Would have been £200 in this country. I got it from America for 150. 120 plus £30 postage was 150, but I got up with it. It came to roughly £190 after the import tax was on it. But yeah, I can get a cylinder for this for about £50, or a right good quality one for 100. 7310, how much is their cylinders? And now in the UK, you're probably talking about £300 for a cylinder kit for that saw. It's better. If I get, I mean, that cylinder would have to go 6 times before I'd been better. I mean, the parts availability for this, I've managed to build a saw without going near a dealer. The only thing I've went is I've got the OEM cover. Everything else has been, and I've got OEM brake parts in this, because like I said, the problems I had with the aftermarket ones. Other than that, No, this saw's, for that kind of money, it's a bargain. Anyway guys, these are something else, another wee update. I've still got a 281. The reason I've still got a 281 is because the man was on holiday last week after I was finished cutting, so I had to bring it home with me. I just took it up there to test it, brought it home. The actual farm, where I was at the farmer, the actual owner was in Turkey last week on holiday, and it was just this worker that was there, and I said, no, I'll bring it home. I'm going back up this weekend. I'm going to run this saw with a 28-inch bar on it this weekend, and I'm going to put a 24-inch bar on, or 20-inch bar on the 365 special, and I'll maybe do a video after that and let you know how this gets on with a 28-inch bar. Last week it performed beautifully with a 24-inch bar. Better than that 281. I'd have been rather using that all day. Anyway, it came to light. I texted the guy who owns this, not so much the owner, the man who gave me it. He says, look, I think this saw was straight gassed. The reason I think that is because when it came to me, there was absolutely no fuel in it whatsoever. It was totally empty. Not a drop in it, not a drop. Right, no fuel in it. And the way that seized, it didn't look dirty. It was a little bit dirty. It didn't look as if it had been heavy used. Right? It wasn't a mill, because all the parts were clean. Used generally when a saw's been on a mill, everything goes that warm. It changes colour quite a lot. The clutch bell and things like that. None of that was. The saw was clean. So that's been straight fueled. It turns out that the owner of this saw gave a loan of his saw to somebody else, and this is the way it came back. Now obviously that person, he says he went to start it, it was seized. So obviously he's not even put fuel in it. He just went to pull it and it's been seized. So the person that had the saw seized it. Done the old, let's empty the fuel out so we hide the evidence. Then give, oh, I don't know what happened to the saw, mate. I ran out of fuel and I went to, and no, that's the way it is now. I would never, honestly, see if somebody came to me and said, Richard, I need any one of your saws to come and cut something, to cut down a tree, cut down this, do that. I would say, listen, no, I'm sorry, I'm not giving you any of my saw. I'll come and do the job for you with my saw. But there's no way in hell I would give MD a loan to a saw like that. Or even that. I'd go, like I said, I'd go and do the job for them. It's a wee moral. I mean, what did that guy turn around and say? Oh, I'm sorry, I've wrecked your saw. Here's X amount of money to go and buy a new one. Well, I don't know. Maybe it did. But who knows. But anyway, guys, right, I'll fill you in and how this saw goes after I've ran it with a 28-inch bar on it.